We've got a city that needs winning for Jesus. How are your varifocals this morning? I hope you've got laser sharp vision on what your church is doing. The call, the mission to your location, to your community, to your people. But I do believe you're in a gathering like this because greatness has spoken to you and you have a vision beyond your local church. And you know a city needs winning for Jesus. This is why we exist. This is why we're here. This is how we're trying to go about it with God's help. We want to strengthen your church. Every church in this network is immensely precious to us. We believe in churches spread out across this city. It matters. We're holding your leaders' arms up in prayer. We're strengthening you. We're saying you are doing a great job. We're with you in the battle. We know, I run a local church, you need more people on the tea and coffee rota, I get it. But I want to lift our gaze this morning and say your community desperately needs Jesus, and we're cheering you on with this. We're doing this together. We're spirit-filled, multi-generational churches. Holy Spirit, we love you. You have put a passion inside us that will not go out. We've come to know you, Jesus, not just with our heads, but you have ignited a flame within us. And we want this to spread. Not just buildings, not just the odd beacon church, not just social action projects, all of which are great. But every community in our city needs a spirit-filled church, and that is not the case at the moment. There's many great churches in Nottingham, many great churches in Nottingham. But not every community has a spirit-filled church. It took us a while to get going, but taking a missions trip overseas is about time. Jesus told us to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. Guys at Haven at Burkina Faso, make sure your giving goes in that direction. Other churches on with other overseas projects, brilliant. But as a network, together we want to own a couple of areas, the King's Village being one. You know, these people, we've talked about the school this morning, but they're building a maternity centre. Terry and Anne have done 10 years more building a nutrition centre for malnourished children. Come on, church, let's have a heart for another part of the world as well as our immediate needs here. Jesus told us to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. So we want a mission trip to the King's Village every 2 years. And then the other year we want to find somewhere in Europe where we can go. One of the most memorable evenings of my life, and I've travelled to 50 countries or so now. But we were in Ghana and Ali was preaching and the Jesus film was being shown in the Dagbani language and in this village of mud huts, and literally there was a lightning storm. I'm not exaggerating, a 20-minute, half an hour lightning storm overhead. No rain, no thunder, just a bright, massive lightning storm. It was incredible, and Ali got up to preach. 150, 200 people were there, and these people came forward to receive the gospel. One lady came forward, her foot was prayed for, she felt God heal her foot. She was in church the next Sunday because she'd met some strange people from England who'd given up a couple of weeks of their time. The impact on us is so much more. You see, if you come on missions, God will give you a greater view, a greater expanse of what he is doing around the world. So at some point over the next few years, make sure you join us, whether we go to the King's Village or Ghana. We'll also have a bit of fun as well. If you'll just indulge me, let me just show you this video. I couldn't resist. We'll show it now. A little bit of tribal dancing from the local village. Just a moment. Film crew were being asked to dance, a bit reluctant. It was worth spending 1,400 quid to go on mission just to see that. So this is what we said when we rewrote the mission statement a few years ago. To have at least one network church in every Greater Nottingham NG district. Some churches will join us. Incredibly grateful to God for that. We can't do this on our own, we know that. But we do need to plant some churches, guys. What a unique opportunity as a network to go and plant some churches. That's why we gather to worship together, to talk about unity. Don't know if any of you have been listening to Francis Chan lately, but he's been talking about moving to Asia. And he says for him, it's been like he's been fishing in a pond with too many other people in the same pond. He said it feels as though like lines are crossed and we're getting in each other's way and we're after the same sort of fish. And what resonates with my heart is he says, I want to go and fish where nobody else is fishing. I want to go and reach the people that haven't been reached with Jesus yet. We want to plant churches in parts of this city where other people aren't going. We bless others. May that be the case. And over the next year or so, we'll start to outwork that together. Where in the city is God telling us to go first? Who are the people sitting in this room now who maybe need to join us? There's 8 churches, 6 represented here today, and then in Blydydd and Ollerton who aren't with us at this joint gathering. If just 3 came from every church, that's 24 people. That's twice as many Jesus had, and he changed the world. We don't need 100 people to go and plant a church, folks. Just needs a few people who say, I'm going, to see our city transformed. So the back end of after halfway through next year, I'll be talking to you individually and working out who should be going that year. But then we don't want to just do one. We want this to be part of our culture going forward. Spoke to a guy this week, Alan Silver, planted a church in 1970-something, 1973, with him and another couple, 4 people. He left in 1980-something, it was 150 people. He went back to the reunion this year in Milton Keynes. There's now 1,000 people meeting in that church. We're in this for the long haul, whether it's the King's Village or whether it's our city or whether it's your location. We're not just coming and going. We are in this for the long haul. Together we can achieve more than we ever could on our own. That is what I believe is God's message to our network. We simply want to be led by the Spirit to work strategically together, to grow leaders and plant churches across this city. Let's bow our heads a moment. Lord, I pray for people right now that you've spoken to about church planting in the past. Breathe on them, Lord. Breathe on them in this moment. Remind what you have said. Remind how you have stirred them. Lord, as leaders, give us the courage to believe there is so much more in our locations and beyond for your glory.